Hi, my name's Cassius Rayner and I'm a filmmaker and iPhone cinematographer. So today's video is going to be about filming interviews, how we use the mobile phone and the FiLMiC Pro app. And in particular, we're going to look at some of the methods that I use in the way that I actually capture interviews. So let's dive straight in. So as many of us probably already know, mobile phones have a lot of issues under low light, and it's all about how much light source you need to control the environment you're filming in. So this is where different aspects of lighting comes into it. 3-point lighting, or using a single light, or even if you're going to use natural light source, maybe coming from a window. So the basic principle is with 3-point lighting is that you have your key light, your fill light, and your backlight. But there's also a fourth and a fifth light, which I tend to use in that particular situation if I happen to be shooting a 3-point lighting setup. And the fourth light I use as my prop light. So I'm looking for maybe something on the location that I can use in the background. The fifth light I use is usually a small LED video light, a chargeable video light. And again, that just really helps to break up the background of the shot. Then FiLMiC Pro's app obviously really finishes the shot off nicely with the white balance and the manual focusing on there, and obviously keeping your ISO settings as low as possible. So moving on to another key point, and that's how do I get some depth to my image, to my subject, to the background when I'm actually filming an interview? How can I really make it as good as possible? So in this shot, the artist is pretty much flat to the background. And using the focus, we can't define or separate any distance between the wall and the subject. It's just two-dimensional. Now, mobile lenses need space, much more exaggerated than a DSLR. I mean, for me to get some element of depth, some soft focus, I need to really bring the subject as far away from the background as possible. Then by readjusting the filmic focus, I can now get some separation from the subject to the background. So wherever the location is, the principle is the same. So through my own experience of things that haven't worked, I've managed to create a few methods that work for me in my workflow when I'm trying to capture interviews using mobile phones. And I call it my NB1 Light. So that stands for neutral background, one light source. So that's me using a foldable background. This one is particularly a black one, and one light. It gives you more control over the environment that you're filming in, and it really works well with FiLMiC Pro. It really adds, I think, something really nice to it. Now you can choose any color you want. I use black because it absorbs the light much better, and it gives me much more control over my editing, and whether I need to control the shadows and the highlights, it gives me those options. And particularly when you're using the log capture on FiLMiC Pro, that really adds that little bit of extra dynamic range that you need. So the extra bonus of actually shooting using a foldable backdrop is that you can explore more angles and different types of framing when you're doing your interview. So now if I actually move the screen to the side, I can get a really nice profile shot just to add into the mix. Now if I want to also then get a high angle shot down on the subject, I can then move the backdrop and place it on the floor so that when I'm filming down, all you're seeing is that neutral color. So what's the benefits? Well, firstly, it's much quicker to shoot with. There's no 3-point lighting setups that you're having to do on your own. There's no dealing with the background issues or any distractions. And using the FiLMiC Pro's manual controls with the ISO as low as it possibly can be, you can then get the desired look and the professional finish that you need. So one very final tip I'd like to offer, and that's to do with audio. So you're filming on your own, you've got your subject, you might not be using a wireless microphone. I tend to use broadcast directional microphones, and of course they have an XLR cable. So I use a microphone boom pole holder that connects into a knuckle on a C-stand. Then I can extend my boom pole as far as I need, run the XLR cable into an adapter, which then plugs into your phone. I then have some control over the audio. I can use headphones to also listen to it as well at the same time that I'm recording, and it just is really helpful for me. So I hope you've enjoyed watching the video, and maybe you've picked up a couple of points in there that would be useful for you in your filming when you're dealing with certain interviews. So if you don't know FiLMiC Pro, if you haven't checked them out yet, go to the App Store or Google Play. Thanks again very much for watching this, and I look forward to the next video. Cheers.